Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Sarah Sperber. I am a realtor in the Northern Nevada market, and I'm here to answer all of your real estate questions and serve all of your real estate needs. But on today's video, I'm going to be talking about some upgrades that are potentially very costly that in the end are not going to yield a very high ROI. So if you are thinking about listing your home, or if you have listed your home but you're considering making all these expensive changes and doing all this remodeling, just wait and listen to my list, because you may not be getting back the money that you're putting in. So you want to be really careful and really intentional with what you choose to change before you list. Let's preface all of this with the fact that every buyer is unique. I work with a ton of buyers, and there's not a one size fits all. Every buyer is gonna have a different perception of the same house, right? And I see that day in and day out. Here are some of these potentially costly upgrades you should avoid making. The first of which, like I said, we wanna have a blank canvas here, and all buyers are very different when they are perceiving and experiencing a home. So you want to avoid anything that's too personalized. I always tell my sellers, if you are going to do something, when in doubt, try to make it neutral, but you don't want to have something super bold, because while you may love the accent wall, or you may love the wallpaper, or you may love the really funky, unconventional color of the cabinetry, the next buyer may hate it. And that's just how it works. So you're gonna wanna avoid investing too much money in something that's super stylized, especially something that can't easily be undone. Another one, and I actually see this more often than I'd like to admit, but if you have a property that's in a transitional neighborhood, a very much like working class neighborhood, I don't wanna say like lower end, but maybe more like entry level price tag in our market, you're not going to want to put luxury finishes in a home like that, because the buyer for that is probably not going to be a luxury buyer, and you are just spending money that you're never going to recoup, because more often than not, people who are buying in the lower price ranges in our market are people who have to be, right? Unless they're investors and they're gonna flip, but even so, flippers typically understand the market well enough to know that luxury finishes don't go in a lower end home. Number 3 is a swimming pool. If there's already a pool at your listing, then great. You can keep it there, maintain it, make it look nice, make it show well. That's fine. I'm not saying that if you have a pool, you're screwed. But I am saying if you're selling a home and leaving it anyway, don't go putting a pool in the backyard. Just don't do it. Because while some buyers are excited at the idea of having a pool, I see buyers who say, never again. That falls into the never again category. We had a pool, we thought it was gonna be great, and it was a total nightmare, and it was so much work to maintain, and blah, 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 blah. Home office conversions. Now, this is something that post-COVID, I think a lot of people are still realizing they can effectively work at home, and it's fine to work from home, and it's fine to have a designated bedroom in your house that you call the office. Don't do any major repairs, renovations, like built-in desks, shelves, whatever. Don't do any of that, because you never know if it's going to be a family purchasing, for example. They're going to want that bedroom. They may not want the office. So just don't put a whole lot of money into converting it. Try to keep it so that when you're finished using it as an office, the next buyer could easily use it as a bedroom. And lastly, if you are a licensed contractor, or if you are a professional painter, or if you do contract, handyman, whatever, labor professionally, this does not apply. If you don't fall into that category, please don't do too many DIY renovations, because it shows. Buyers are gonna know. They're gonna know that it wasn't done professionally, and they're gonna have to redo it again anyway in a lot of cases. Even little things, you guys, like I see sometimes people paint and they don't use tape, or they don't know how to cut a line, and it just looks terrible. Just don't do it. It's better to leave it as is than to do it poorly. All right, that's all I have for you for today. If you have any questions about pre-listing, listing, buying, anything to do with real estate, I'm your girl. You can book a free call with me. There's a link to do that in the show notes below. It's non-obligation, totally free, just an opportunity to get your questions answered, see if we might be a good fit together to work together, and at the very least, I will help you devise a strategy for your next and best steps. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. I put out new videos every single week about the Northern Nevada housing market, the Reno Sparks lifestyle, and of course, all things to do with selling real estate. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.